Good morning, everybody. I know I've been doing a lot of talking about the listing side of things and our sellers and making sure they have reasonable expectations as far as the market and price points, etc. And now I think we need to get into talking about buyers. I'm seeing a lot of issues right now with negotiations and buyers' expectations and what they qualify for and what's happening out there. So let's talk about it a little bit. First of all, please make sure that you're educating your buyers ahead of time. They know where the market is, where it's been, and where it's heading. You know, again, we do not have a crystal ball as to what's going to happen in September or October, or next spring, but we do know that most of our buyers who are out there looking right now, they want to buy in this time frame for whatever reason. They need to get in the school district. They need to deal with things and get it done before they go into their new job. They need to relocate, downsize, upsize, whatever the issue is. But we also know that 6 months ago, if we've been out there searching and haven't found the right home, or they've been getting beat out and they were at 3% or 4% as far as getting qualified by a lender, that things may have changed for them a little bit now. And we'll take 400,000 as an easy gauge. So at a hypothetical, as a $400,000 person that qualifies for 400,000, whether it's 20% down, 10%, whatever, they may only be qualifying now for 320 or 340 or whatever. Now that's based on if they were trying to give exactly what they could give out of, cash and what their debt to income ratio is. So obviously, if they have more money or somebody can gift them, they can still stay in the same price point. Although we also know that the market is shifting. Some properties, I've been saying it over and over again, it's been a tale of two markets. That tale of two markets is gradually changing, but we still see when a property pops up and it's the right house in the right neighborhood, we're still getting 3 or 4 offers right out of the gate. We may even see offers before it goes to active. That is not the norm for most properties right now. We see properties in the city that may be sitting there getting multiple price reductions. We see properties that don't have the perfect curb appeal in the right zip codes that have been getting multiple offers. Now starting, when I say right, meaning they've been heavy, they've been sellers markets, what have you, but now they're actually slowing up a little bit. So they've had to reprice because maybe the yard's not the way it should be, or maybe the updates aren't the way the expectations of the buyers are. But we need to be educating the buyers every day. We need to be looking at the price changes, showing a value proposition. If we see a property go back to active, that's a great opportunity to reach out to our buyer and say, remember that one property? We thought it was a little too expensive. You thought you had to do some updates to get that property the way you wanted it. So now it's coming back on. It's now been on the market for X amount of days, X amount of weeks, whatever it is. Now they may be more receptive to our offer, depending on their urgency to sell the property, right? So make sure that you are talking to the lender. You need to be communicating with that lender. If you let them have control of the lender and they've controlled, dealing with them and cutting you out a pre-approval, and you're not in, communications, then you may find out later that they don't have that buyer exactly where they need to be in this market. So that's why I say it's a learning curve for some of us. We were rushing around trying to put the offers in. The rates were, almost, 2.5%, 4%, all those numbers that sounded, too good to be true. And these buyers were definitely qualified for that loan at that point. It may have changed, and that change means that we need to be aware of it and educate our client. All right, how are we going to approach the market now? Because before you were at X, now you're at Y, and now this is what is available out there. And when we see that next property pop up, we may not have to compete against 4 or 5 offers, but the seller is here, we're here, and what are we going to do to get to negotiate for a win-win? And this is going to take our experience, our ability not to bring too many emotions in, but we need to know the subjective information. I always say at the end goal, just like the seller has an end goal, the buyer has an end goal. So if they start feeling like, you know what, I'm going to wait then. Where is it really beneficial for them to wait another few months to see what's going on? Where's the right time to buy for them now? Is the competition less? Will there be more competition in September, October? We can't predict. We know what the market has now. So what we could say, if they feel like, oh no, I think I'm going to get a better deal in September, October. If they start getting to feel like that, you still can educate them. You could still continue to do searches for them, get them on the page that they're in agreement with you, that you and that will continue to look for properties for them. And when they pop up, if it meets their needs and we can negotiate, or if this property sits on the market that somebody thought they could sell it for 525 and then they go down to 490, and from 490 they go down to 460, and your people are qualified enough and say, wow, I never thought I could buy this house because it was in the fives before, but now it's in the fours. And I can in fact go and for this property, which I won't have to put any other extra work into, and it has the room sizes we need for our family or whatever, I will go and get money, liquidate money out of here, or ask the family member to help with that. Again, you need to be in those communications, because if you limit yourself to what that knowledge is at the moment, and you don't fact find and see opportunities and figure out the real needs and the real availabilities of the buyer, you may be leaving something on the table. Then later they get frustrated. You're not communicating on a weekly basis. They talk to somebody else out there who then gets a little bit more creative. Their urgency's there, the opportunity's there, and wow, they get into a property and you go, how did that ever happen? I thought they only qualified for X. So please, 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 stay on top of things. Same with your sellers. You don't put your head in the sand like an ostrich. Even with buyers, if they seem frustrated, it doesn't seem like things are popping up or available for them, you need to be able to have the conversations every week. What you're looking at, what you're seeing go back on the market, what you're hearing from your networks. And by the way, are you sending out mailers or reaching out to people in neighborhoods of properties and price points that they're looking in to show that extra value proposition? So if nothing hits the market that they're looking for in an area, what can you say the next week? It's been completely dry out there. No, that's always not the best way to have the discussion. You could say, I know nothing seemed to pop up on Coming Soon or Active. However, whatever that might, however, be. So if that's, I sent out some mailers to such and such neighborhood because it fit what you were looking for, at least, and I'm waiting to see if anything comes. So that gives you something to discuss that week, so that the next week, hopefully something does pop up. Also, again, never avoid looking for your new home build. So if there's something out there and it's been put, available, make sure that you have not removed that as a search criteria, because they can go out riding around getting frustrated, come upon a property, maybe the buyer's backed out of the deal and now there's available new home build ready for them to move in, and you missed that. Now there's less likelihood that that's going to happen, but it has happened. I've had many people walk in through the years and put their head down. I say, what's wrong? They say, my client just informed me they walked into a new home build and I didn't tell the builders or the salesperson that was my client and they were going to be coming by, and therefore I'm out the commission for that property. So again, always stay in contact with your clients. I hope this helps. Have a great day.